I tried using a different team for each floor of the Spiral Abyss to get a cursed results screen. The problem is that I can't retry any floor without ruining my reward, so my teams have to be able to handle what each floor has. For the first half of floor 9, I built a team around my first ever 5-star Diluc. Since Hydra units are so valuable for the later floors, I was forced to make Diluc team up with 2 of his favorite patrons, in Rosaria and his brother. Then, one of the last healers available was Sayu, who has VV for support, and some synergy with Kaya in her spin dash. The other floor 9 team I built was an Aggravate team built around another early game 5-star, Fischl.
Oz, reveal!
Oz helps support the important cat girl on this team, Kirara, while Yao Yao is there for healing and support and extra Dendro. Oh yeah, and Kaching's also on the team for some reason. I forget why, probably something about Electro Resonance or whatnot. Since floor 9 isn't the most challenging of content, I wasn't too worried about the teams. But as a loyal Childe and Hu Tao main, it's been a while since I've played any of these characters, and you can tell by my sloppy gameplay. Nonetheless, I was able to clear floor 9, thanks to my boredom, pushing me to level and build every character somewhat, even if I don't use them.
Midnight Phantasmagoria!
On floor 10, we start to get teams that I have a bit more practice with. The first one, Morgana, I play for fun when there are a lot of enemies because Venti. My Ganyu is level 1 though, so Iona Shield's pretty important to keep her from getting squished. I have 36-star the Abyss with this level 1 Ganyu before, but doing it without retrying is a bit more stressful. The second half of floor 10 is being run by one of my most hated characters, Xiao. With all the VV grinding I did for full EM sets on all of my Animo units and the extra home I got when wishing for a second Aqua Simulacra, Xiao is one of my best built characters CV wise. However, he still gets gapped by Xiao, Hu Tao, Hyper Bloom, the level 1 Ganyu, and the Geo Boys in damage, while being the most frustrating and boring unit to play, according to me at least. Spacebar left click, spacebar left click, spacebar left click, while all the enemies get further and further away. It's just not for me. Maybe once I get C6 Farzan, I'll finally see the light, but for now, I'm just glad he's stacked enough to get me through floor 10 with little issue. Now floor 11 is where it starts to get a little more interesting. Childe and Hu Tao are being saved for floor 12, so that leaves me with Ito and Hyper Bloom. The problem is the Pyro and Cryo Lecter on the first half. Last time I tried the Hyper Bloom team against them, but with Raiden not triggering her ability on shields and Dendro not reacting with Cryo, they were just too slow. But with this being the last cycle of this Abyss, I have one last shot to get it right. I decided to remove Zhongli and Yulan from my Hu Tao team to boost the Ito and my Hyper Bloom team's damage respectively, but that might be my downfall on floor 12. Zhongli's burst is great at chewing through these shields, and I recently got Yulan C2, so really what can't she do? The run started out rough, with my inability to group the ruin enemies. I let them get the tower down to 67%, so Hyper Bloom only had 7% to spare. Luckily, there's a good reason Hyper Bloom and Nahida especially are considered broken. They ended up only using 2% of the 7% they had. The second floor was equally as stressful for me. I knew the third chamber was going to be a problem, so I tried conserving my burst on the Geo Boys for what I thought was going to be the last enemy. But I soon realized that I had 3 more elemental shields to chuck racks and cows at. Luckily, Nahida, Raiden, and Yulan made quick work of the Vishaps, leaving me with 1 second to spare, or 2 minutes and 1 second. I can always assume that there's a 3-minute clear, so we'll just pretend that was the case on this one. No hand-holding on the next chamber though. I'm gonna need this 3-minute clear.
Burst forth. Oh, coming through.
Damage wasn't a problem for the Geo Boys. I got the Lecters down to their shields in under 15 seconds, but the next minute and 15 was spent furiously chucking rocks to put out the ice and fire, or however that's supposed to work. With half of the time left, my Hyper Bloom squad only needed about half of that to put floor 11 in the books.
There is no escape. Hey, the Temple of Wisdom. Here comes the catch. Quiet a minute. A minute's memory. Shine down. I see everything.
On to the final challenge, floor 12. My Childe international team was all ready for battle, but taking double Hydro away from Hu Tao meant I needed to play her in a VV Vape team. Before I got my double Yelan on her first rerun, I used to always run Amber Elegy VV Vape on every Abyss. But recently, I've contracted a bit of Zhongli brain since I got Yelan, and I've been using the two of them together with the other two best units on our Childe. Since Yelan still had Elegy, not one of my two Aquas, Amber wouldn't cut it as much as I would like her to, and my Toma Copium has run out from when I hoped he could replace Strogling in International and also support my Hu Tao. So I ended up going with Tank Faye and Sucrose to fill up my last two missing members. I wasn't worried about International, as it made quick work of the first chamber in under a minute. Hu Tao was then able to finish off the rest of the chamber with 30 seconds to spare, but not without Sucrose sustaining a good amount of mostly permanent damage due to my lack of a proper healer.
Enhanced Animal Module 75. Animal Test 6. Breath of the Flame.
Rain outlines your fate. Ring Cutter.
Time to go.
The second chamber didn't start out as clean, but with a combined 600k burst on the second wave, Childe still managed to finish his half in under a minute. Simon says you're supposed to have an Electro to beat him, but if you give Hu Tao enough time, she'll do her job as a boss killer. Sucrose might want to work on her dodging though. Her health is looking pretty low for the last chamber.
Rain outlines your fate. Ring Cutter.
Everybody stand.
One with nature. Fallen leaves. Adorn my nights. Wind struck. You can run, but you can't.
Another 600k combined Childe burst to start off the chamber made this the fastest floor 12 clear of the run. But will Sucrose stay alive long enough to secure the final star?
Clouds high. The birds.
Everybody stand.
Riptide.
Boom! Absorption test. Stand clear. Swirl. Mark 2. Absorption test. Breath of the Flame.
Time to act.
Cross over.
Let me weave you a verse.
Stand clear. Absorption test. Incinerate. Time for your ring. This isn't good. Boom boom. Stand clear.
Ring Cutter.
Higher, hands on fire! Motion to compel. Breath of the Flame. Animal test 6308. Absorption test. Animal test 6308.
Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you.
Oof, everyone just barely held on there. Way too close for comfort. But with the challenge complete, I decided to wait for the next rotation to get my reward. And here it is. The most cursed challenge summary you've ever seen. What surprises me, that Diluc has the most defeats, but I guess it's probably because floor 9 has the most amount of enemies to be defeated. Well, that was fun, but I think the earlier floors didn't pose much of a challenge, so next time I might just see how many teams I can 9-star floor 12 with. If you have any other challenge runs or wacky team ideas you want me to do, let me know and I might try them out. For now, I'm going to work on editing my Childe montage for his upcoming banner rerun. Thanks for watching, and pull Childe.